All right, welcome everybody. Happy Sunday, happy weekend time. Welcome to Ben's Brick Designs. I'm Ben. Thank you for being here today. Um, thank you for joining me on this mock build that we're working on today. This is the big project support model that I've been working on for a few months now that need to get done by July for Brick Rodeo. We'll go ahead and flip over to the build camera, and I've had to reorganize a little bit here so it's not what everybody's used to seeing. Hello, Johnny. Hello. Never too old for Lego. Thank you for being here. So it's coming along. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. I finished this part yesterday. This is really the most dodgy part. Hello, Missy. How are you? This is a free floating tube, basically. It's just sitting here. I tried quite a few ways to try to figure out how to attach it to the girders inside here, holding up the lens and the drive axle for the lens, attaching it to the base, doing all kinds of stuff. And in the end, I was like, it's pretty heavy. It's not moving. Why does it have to attach to anything? So it's not. It's just sitting here. And I'm going to try to move it so you can see that it's just sitting here. It's just sitting on the plate. It's a little hard to get in here because these corners up here for this plate and all the plates that attach in the back here kind of bump into each other. So there's a lot of twisting and turning. What I'm going to try to do today, we'll see how this goes, is I'm trying to rebuild the top here so I can fill in this area around here. And I've already got the top figured out. This is what the top is going to look like. That's already been built out. So the top's already in place. I've got 4 of these corner panels ready to go. And the top's just a simple little, I might switch this out to something with some gold on it to keep in line with the sort of steampunk aspect of everything. But that's what I'm going to be working on today. So I'm going to try to what I've been doing is taking what's already built in here and building like a model of it out of it so I can kind of rebuild it here and figure out what I want to do and then go back here and build it. This has to be built in such a way that I can kind of take that off as a ring and remove this so this can travel by itself. What I'd like to do is be able to take this off, fill it full of like t-shirts or something like that so it keeps its shape and doesn't completely collapse, and that travels on its own, and everything else will kind of move on its own. These plates are freestanding. This whole section is freestanding. So this will travel by itself as like a modular. These 2 plates will kind of travel on their own, and then all these plates down here will separate as well, so they'll be able to stack into a box. This is the only one I'm worried about. This plate right here is attached to the gears. It'll separate okay in here. I've got a coupling on the Technic axle in there, so it'll separate. I just have to plug it back in when it's put together. Yeah, the one thing that's not, hello Scott, how are you? The one thing that's not going to last is that in between the seams, let's see if we can take one of these off without ruining it. In between the seams, there's a 1x stud, and then I take whatever tiles are available, 8 tiles or ingots or whatever, and just put it on one stud to cover that seam, right? So it kind of looks like this up close. But from far away, it's got a nice, I think the curve looks nice and it looks like it's roundish. So we'll see how it, holds up. But again, part of the joy of going to Lego conventions is once you get everything in place to kind of build it and make sure it's all built out properly. So that's where we're at. I did a lot of work on the house over here. Let's see if I can rotate it a little bit. So you can see the house is being worked on as well. And that's another part of what's going on today, is trying to do some work on this. I have some pieces that I'm interested in testing out over here. I want to get some number tiles here to give the address some customization. But I need to get something else other than driver's licenses. That's what's up there now to kind of hold the space, little driver's license. And as part of our monthly build thing for our lug, I'm doing a steampunk mech. So it was supposed to be a steampunk automaton, but I like the idea of a mech better. Something that if they were like, this is a group of maybe mad scientists who are trying to take over the world or something. So this is my steampunk mech. I think it turned out pretty well. It's got its steam canisters on the back and everything. Got a little gauge up front telling it, you know, how much steam's in the tank. I think it works really well. So on the back side here is a this all should be relatively mobile. There's a little work area where the mech's gonna live in the final thing, so it'll just kind of sit like that. I may put more benches or tool areas, and I fenced it all off here. Yeah, so this side got built out. The next step is to get this roof to come up to this level. Maybe one or two more of these windows along here. And then the pieces that I'm excited about are the propellers here, or the blade. So I'm gonna pull these open. So Marcel is going to Brick Rodeo again this year as another of our lug members who you talked to about getting more places wanting to host your lug, Krista. Isn't Krista the previous lug ambassador? And Marcel is the new one? Definitely have to hang out and say hi to them. So, let's see if this works. Now, I got these. These are the cloth pieces from the first, I think. Oh, these should be excellent. These should be perfect. These are the cloth pieces for the VW van. And so what I thought I would do is have them bend across these tubes up here and act as the blades. So it's not a, and I may fold them over one section to get the length that I want. We can fold them over like that, and that should be a perfect length. So then it's figuring out how to attach these to this. So I'm gonna get rid of these guys in here, and then it'll be kind of a full rebuild of that. Because I don't like the candy stripe red and white in there. That was just a placeholder. So I may put in a bunch of these guys. You know, they're the pearl gold. I think that would fit well in there somewhere, with some gray or black or something to make it look nice. And then some other bits, maybe some gears or something. So that's what we're doing today. I am sort of stymied where to start first. So I'm going to start by taking these parts off, and we'll go from there. So how's everybody doing? I hope you're all doing good. I had to attach a bunch of plates all around this thing so I could move it. So it moves pretty well. Once it's in place, it's pretty solid. Once, I will show you this, once everything is kind of where I want it, this is all going to be turned into like garden space. There's going to be a sidewalk along here on the front door of the building. And then maybe like a fence along where it turns into the rock face. And on the rock face, I'm going to put more, I got more of those 1x1 round plates in dark gray, and I'm just going to kind of fill that whole area and make it a little more rocky, and then kind of green this area up and put some, maybe a nice path fence along here, as well as these light poles. These light poles were part of the kit, so we can get one that's fully together. So these light poles come with the kit. And usually I think they would just go like right there. Like that. You can't really see that. Just like that. Right along there. I don't know if it'd rather go like this maybe. But we got a few of these. We got some with these signs. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with these signs or not, but so that's the idea. I may put them on the inside of the path instead, and then put some like that, and then put some fencing along here. I've got some pieces that I've never really been able to use for anything, but I only have a few of them. And I only have like maybe 8. So maybe along here somehow. We'll figure that out later. So yeah, so that's what's going on. Let's all these back. Yeah, these were like alternate if you wanted like a little thing that said like such and such street or something. This was cool. I just found this the other day. I'd forgotten that I had it. Somebody used paper bags in our lug bulk, and I forgot that I had these pieces. So hopefully I'll be able to use these at some point. So yeah. It's a little closer here so I can work on it. I hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're having a good week. The idea of these twisty blades was, because most windmills don't look like this, but some newer windmills, like smaller, they're almost like, they look like they're monitoring windmills rather than power windmills. I see a lot of these on the roofs of buildings, and I kind of like the way they look, so I was like, well, let's try that. And then in looking for inspiration on steampunk stuff, I stumbled onto one that had that look to it. And I felt the stars had aligned. Yesterday was a long day but good at the home garden show. That's so cool that you guys get to do that. I'd mentioned to my group, if anybody has contacts with the home and garden people in Austin, to set that relationship up, because I feel like that would be a good thing to have, especially if we've got a lot of modulars and things that show off flowers and gardening and things like that. I keep wanting to push a Star Wars day, but the more I think about it, none of our, I won't say none, very few of our MOC, of our lug members are really into Star Wars. And if they are, they aren't doing big MOCs. I'll do a microfighter every once in a while. There's a guy, Frankie, who's on the channel, will build stuff from that he finds on Rebrickable. He'll occasionally do his own thing. There's another guy in our group, another Ben, another Star Wars Ben, another Star Wars Lego Ben, who works at a Bricks and Minifigs, who's very into Star Wars, but more the sets. Like, he's brought in a few sets and a few things he's tweaked, but very few people have come in and said, here's my Geonosis MOC, or here's my whatever MOC. And I think we relegate MOCs to, this is the build challenge for this week. So it's hard to say, do whatever you want and bring in whatever you've been working on, you know? So, all right. So the next step is to figure out how I want to make this attach. Now I can have it be thin. You know, I can fold it in half and have it wrap around. I can, it be as wide as possible and wrap around. My concern is that it'll buckle because it's curved. So it'll have to attach kind of like this. But I still think that'll work. So if I were to attach something like that, I would need, I wish I had, oh, and I do, I have these. No, I don't have those yet. So what I wanted, and I think we're getting them in lug bulk, and I don't have them yet, is this would be a great time for this piece, is the 1x1 round with the clip on the bottom. You see my hand gestures, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't have any of those yet. I don't think I got any new sets. Yep, I got one. So if this works, I'd have to order a ton of these. And maybe I got 2. I got a gold one. So I think these are the only 2 colors these come in. But ideally, I want to clip up here. Oh, 2 points right in the barrel. That was hilarious. By the way, one of our other builders did this. Crates. These tan boxes with these boards on the top. You have to kind of fudge the middle because there's nothing for it to attach to. No idea where the camera is. So you have to put something in there for it to attach to because there's nothing for it like on the sides here to attach to. But then you could like have these on its own plate and they're open and kind of laying on the side, so it looks like a warehouse full of open crates. I only had one of these color nougat boxes, so I only had one crate. So it's sitting on the side over by the door. See, these would be perfect because you can match them with your pearl gold. Normally you just pin it on there like that. I only have one other one in black. I'm not going to be able to tell really if this is going to work or not. So I almost want to see if I have longer tubes, but something like that. So I get 2 more clips along there. That should work pretty well. I could also, since I have these guys, I could just use those and have them stick out and do the same thing. So let's do that since I have those pieces. But yeah, these pieces would have been great for that moment. Plus it'll give me an excuse to, I like this piece too, this little smokestack with the bar attached to the side of the building. That's fun. Got some bay windows over here too. This is gonna have to be like built up as like a roof. So I may have to, and it's not entirely centered. Like this is not centered on the plate for some reason, because I planned that real well. Which should be. I don't know why it's not. I don't know why I did that. Purple puffy pandas, how are you? Thank you for coming by. Oh, these are like literally just in this plastic bag, paper bag. All right, so I'm gonna put some of these pieces away. I want more of these smoke pieces. I actually want more of these. I thought I had a ton of those. Those like little popcorn ice cream pieces. I really thought I had like a bunch of them. But, you know. So this is one of these weird bags that I got, and I don't remember where or why I have it, but I have all these pieces. The reason I use these is because I have a bag of a ton of these. Like literally, you can't really even see how many of these I've got, right? The problem is they're all the left side. They're all this side. I don't have matching. It's all one side. So it's almost a bag of useless pieces. They're good for making, like if you're making they're not sphincter lenses, but those doors that kind of curl in on themselves. They're good for stuff like that where you only need one side of it and it kind of spirals. But for everything else, it's like, I don't know what you're gonna need for it. Roof guy coming over. You got it. We'll wait. So what are you up to, pandas? How's your weekend been? All right, so we got this paper bag now. Full of parts that are basically like, all right, you sort this. It'd been okay if it was one bag. But now I gotta sort it all out. Split it in half. So, Goldie, how are you? Everybody, this is my friend Goldie. This is my IRL friend Goldie. How you been, friend? It's been a minute. You guys were at Beth's birthday, so it hasn't been that long. Goldie is a very long time friend, karaoke person, singer. She has her own channel where she does gaming and sketch comedy and television and movie reviews, and just generally a good, funny person. Thanks for being here, lady. You're just waking up. Dude, I have, for the past, since COVID basically started, have not set an alarm for most anything, unless it's like I have to get to the airport or something, right? So even going to work, like my body goes, it's daylight out, 7 o'clock, time to wake up. And that's usually enough time for me to throw on some clothes, throw some food in my mouth, take care of the dogs, and then get to work, right? Get to work before 9, you know, or like if I'm working from home, I'm logging in at 7:30, so it's no big deal. And it's been nice because my body doesn't jolt awake. My brain doesn't play the math game at night. Okay, if I go to bed now, I get 6.5 hours of sleep. This was the first time in a while where the time change really messed me up, because I like groggily woke up and I'm like 8 o'clock, you know, because I know I've got to get going and get ready for this and eat and get the dogs taken care of. And Beth was getting ready because she had to go into work today. So, but yeah, I was like, oh, this is going to suck tomorrow. I'm going to be so late. So I get it. Waking up is hard. All right, so I don't need these, but I will keep them around. And get a little baggie for them. Don't lose them all. So what's up with you? What are your next big projects? Next big things you're doing on your stream and stuff. I'm only gonna need four of each. So my Avalanche played last night, and they won against the Toronto Maple Leafs. They won 7-4, which is a pretty ridiculous hockey score. Almost do this. See how that works. There's not. It's just longer than the tubes themselves. So I'm a little like, I need to do something about that. A couple shows planned for April. One is Saturday morning cartoons. Nice. Another's a music show. So this is my, it's a steampunk. So this is part of a big group project. I'll show you what we got going on. So this is the back side of it, basically. It is a group project. It is a steampunk Venice type city. So it's steampunk buildings surrounded by water. So it's all surrounded by this water. Drop some. And mine is got a large, so this is the front of the house. Right, and there'll be a roof going up to the windmill, and it's all powered. The motor's inside here, the battery pack's right here, and then it's got another drivetrain going up here, and the lighthouse tower lights up. And so then this is the other side with the rock face and the light tower, and so the lighthouse up here that'll rotate, and it'll have this on the top, right? So then what'll happen is on this back side here, so this is just one side of it, right? This is just the one side. On the back side, so there are 20-something, 25, 26 people doing their own projects. And there's another lady who'll have hers attached along here with like the sea, you know, the sidewalks there line up, the sidewalks over here line up. And there's a big map with different little sections, and there's going to be bridges over it, and there's going to be boats and airships, and I think there's like 3 lighthouses going on. So it's going to be pretty massive. If anybody saw the Mars base from last year, it's going to probably be that big. There's one guy, there's two really massive buildings. This one guy basically built like the Palace of Versailles. It's easily 3 or 4 times as big as this. If you can imagine, this is 6 plates. His is probably 18 plates. So it's, you know, over here kind of thing. It's really far away. Another guy built like a prison. It's all white. It's got moving parts on it. The lady and guy who attached to mine built basically the Moulin Rouge. It's a big red tower with like spinning stuff on it, and everything lights up, and they're Versailles or Venice. Yeah, basically. So yeah, it's forcing a lot of people to build stuff they're not used to. This will be my first mechanical build of any kind, and the tower, you know, the light in the tower and everything. So I had to learn how to do gearing and how to make it work. I think I can hook it all up. The only downside, sorry, I was really far away. The only downside is that in order to make it all work, you have to use an iPhone or an app or a tablet. And it's already dead, so I'm gonna have to charge it. So what I might have to do is find a place under one of these things to hide the phone and the battery pack, or maybe in the house, because you can't turn this off ever. That's the only downside, is once you have the little program running, the app running, to control there's an RF or a Bluetooth RF receiver in that little hut where the battery pack is. And as soon as the app shuts off or you lock the phone, the program stops running. So I got to find a way to have this hidden somewhere in here. And it might be like I take one of these plates off. I think maybe this one right here, because it's not attached to anything else. So I'll figure out a way to put this in here so that I can just leave it running. The other thing is, I don't think this is going to be big enough, but we'll figure it out. May put a flap like right along here so I can kind of open it and stuff that in there. The other thing is, there's a way to power these without batteries. There's a 9-volt adapter that you can get that you can basically run it off a battery pack, right? So you don't have to keep changing out. Because it's easy enough to get to. I made this so it's kind of easy to open up and get to the battery pack in there. If I needed to change them out. I don't know how long I've run it. I need to, once it's all done, I need to do a test where I just let it run forever and see how long it takes. But yeah, that's all part of the learning process. It's not something I've built before. It's not something I'm used to building. So we'll see how it goes. And part of it, this was our this month build. This was a steampunk mech. We were supposed to build automatons, but I liked the idea of a mech better. So that's business lady who's taking over the world with her atomic or her steam powered mech suit that she's working on in the back of their lair, right? So that's what's going on. All right. Yeah, so this is okay. I like the material, but I'm worried. I don't think I have anything longer than this. To make that stretch even. I don't think they make them any longer than that. So there's that one. Make it too tall, it's going to be as tall as the lighthouse. And I don't think I have that many of these big ones. Bag of hoses. And that's the same. That's slightly longer, except it's blue. I don't want it to be blue, but if it's blue, then it's blue. Okay, well, I have the length I need in blue. I would like it to be black. That's too long. And I don't have enough in black. And that's sad. I want more of these tubes. So these are, they don't make too many of these. So you've got these tubes that are basically like, they're plastic, right? They're rigid tubes. They're very rigid. They say they're flexible tubes, but they're technically rigid tubes. That's my nickname in college, bag of hoses. Then they make these tubes, which I think are cooler. I like them a lot. They're rubber hoses, and I like them more than most things. I wish they would have more of those. I also like these more, these lines with the loops on the end. They're just more useful. These rigid hoses just kind of get in the way of stuff because they're so rigid. So, okay, so if I could have my druthers, I would have this length. Let's see if this works, because if this works, I'll just order more of these hoses. And that's the perfect length for these. But then I'd have to make this bigger. So let's see what happens when I just attach this. Keep it clear on the bottom. That could almost thread these. Like, I don't even need to clip them on there. Also trying to think if, nah, I'll keep them larger. I don't want to handle these too much because it's great that it's material, but it's also really kind of delicate material. So I don't want to get too carried away with it. And the downside is once you, like, it does that. So at some point, there will need to be clips in here. Keep it up. So like that. Still not very tall, even with the all right, so now that we've got this charging, oh, I don't remember what the barely remember what the code is. So I'm going to try to turn this on and see what it looks like when it spins. I don't like it that it's not very tight around the edges here. And I could probably try to fold it around. But I feel like it would lose surface area and wouldn't make sense anymore as a windmill if it was thin. There's also the option of making bars going down here. So get a bunch of these guys. I don't know what color I have the most of. A bunch of these guys. Hold on to it and go through the bar and then kind of close off the other side. Again, probably have to trying to think of something that will hold it in place. I keep wanting to go back to these clips, but that may not be good. All right, so turn that on. All right, so that has power now. Go the other way. So you can see the windmill moving and the light at the top moving. And there's actually a light coming out of it. It's not super bright, but it's there. There's another light that's in here, but I didn't know what the light strands come with 2 lights on it. That drags along the ground like that. I don't like that at all. There's another light in here that's just stuck because I had to get enough cabling to get the light up there, but the light splits off into 2 and there's 2 lights, but this doesn't have enough length to get back here and like light an outside lamp or something like that. So yeah, but that works. But then as soon as this gets turned off, so you can see, let's say I walk away from it and the screen goes dark, the whole thing stops. So limit to the programming, but and that'll just turn off after a while. So again, try to figure out how to turn it on, put it in here, put it in like a corner panel over here under the ground so that I can kind of access it. Which means, you know, taking some of this off and putting jumpers along here so it's easily to openable and closable. Let's see. Let's turn this a little bit so I can get access to it. Thanks, Johnny. Yeah, it needs to come up a little bit. It needs to be spread out. So I'm going to try to I think what'll happen here is, first of all, turn this so I can reach it. Take this off, take this off. So I only have one working black tube here to work with, but let's see if we can figure something else out. So we can go through here. There's all this, like, you got to plan a little bit ahead of time. With where certain clips go in and see, my fear too is that this is so thin that I'm worried I'm going to pull right through that little section right there. See it? That little section, that little bit of material, it's very thin. So let's repeat down here. Let's get these bars. This is one of those early, we found a deal on the pick-a-brick wall or lug bulk or something, and now I have a bag of these 4-length bars. But I mean, I'm never going to use this many. And the funny part is, it was a guy who is in our group who always hands out seed parts to people, like part of his ordering of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just do 3 each, 3 times 4. Let's do a couple more. Part of what he gets on his giant bulk order is usually something to hand out as seed parts to the rest of the group so we can all build during the course of the year. Sometimes he gets them from Pick-a-Brick, sometimes he gets it from other places, but he had a bunch of these 4-length bars, right? And put like a T-piece on that has ends that extend out to hold it. Yeah. Trying to think. That's right. Like one of those pneumatic T-square pieces. This might actually work. It looks like it's stretching it just the right amount. Pretty good. Well, it's nice and tight around the edge here. Maybe a little too tight. But I mean, that works pretty well. Wait, no, you can't see that. That works pretty well. Let's see what it looks like when it's... That doesn't look too bad. Get 4 of those. Actually, what way looks better? Maybe that way. Yeah. That doesn't look too bad. So the next on order is going to be whatever length of pipe that is, whatever hose that length that is. That's going to be almost 32. 30? There a 30 length hose? 30 length black hose. Okay, so I need 3 more 30 length black hoses. Because I don't want to do blue. I don't think blue is going to work. It's too much of a jarring color. I'm trying to avoid so many jarring colors. So this works very well, but that also means I'm going to put this aside and finish that when I get those parts. And that works fine because I've got a couple other parts that I want to order anyway. So we'll work on that later. So I can put these away. I can put these away. Let's see, how many did I need for that? I don't even really need these clips. That's just something to hold it in place, but it works okay. So let's see, we'll need 3, 3, and 3. Don't need those anymore. Then I'll need, hopefully we've got enough of these. Drawer of those type of pieces. These are the ones that I have the hardest time finding in Studio because especially these, it's a handle, but it's a bar, but it's a pin holder, or it's a bar holder, and then its cousin is the same end, just with a clip on it. So I have to type in like all these keywords like clip bar pin holder handle and hope that it just comes up until the fine day when I just memorize the part number. All right. And then I need 3 bars each. Perfect. All right. So this can go away. I need a little tray of something. This all goes in a little baggie. No. Put it all in with these pieces. That way I know this is to go with the windmill. But now that I have the windmill length, I can get rid of these other hoses. It does. Clip pen bar handle. It sounds like clothesline pin, or what could be a clothesline pin. All right, so set this aside. That's going to be my. So the next thing is, since now I know the length of these, actually, we can look at rebuilding the interior of this, because I do not want it to be red, white, and white, although maybe that's funny. I don't know. I think instead, like to substitute, how many of these do I have? I had one other one out here somewhere. Thought I had a hole, or I pulled another one of these out and I just don't know where I put it. Got little baggies of parts everywhere. I guess not. I guess I must have put it away. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I've got 4 of these. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 12, and that's 4. running into a problem with these because I had an idea about how to replace all that, but I'm running into a problem about which one of these are like old gray and which one are new gray. Blue gray and not blue gray. You can't even tell the difference, really. But in this lighting, that's the blue gray and that's the old light gray. And I think the problem is most of what I have is old light gray. I don't have any, or it's being used for something else. But in this lighting too, I have to go through like each of these, so that's good. And see which one works. I think that's okay. No, it works. Okay, so I got 4. Because what I want to do is I thought I'd be sassy with this. And where did I put that bag? I got all these pieces now. Whole bag of these is half things. So I was thinking to add more greebling and gear ratio or gearing and whatever else to make this look steampunky is to build it like this, but one of these here, one of these here, like that. Like this interior here, and then have some stuff attached here, like another tube or something going up, another bit of piping attached to that going up on the interior of the pole. There's very little I can do to attach it back down to here because it's spinning, and I'm not smart enough to make like a slip ring for the wiring or anything. So if it looks like it'll attach, great. If not, you know. So that's 2 of these. So we'll do another one like that, another one like this, and then we'll rotate it. Rotate it so we can get some fun. And maybe I'll get some different colored those hoses in there and just do like short little bursts of like it turning or something. So that should be that section there. Or I can put like anything in there. I can attach anything, claws or teeth or gears or something. Maybe gears would be fun. I got a gear over here. It's like something about that size. Just kind of stick it right in there. So it looks like there's gears going up and down it. Yeah, that may be a thing. So let's do this 3 times. By the way, if I'm disappearing down here, it's because I'm going to get parts. This is me disappearing over here to get parts. So the wall of parts is right here. It's quite nice. I've moved all the stuff from around the table. It's now all along here. It's all pretty much within reach. It's quite nice to have when you're standing at a table building. I also like the standing build. I think Johnny has it as well. where you stand when you build. It keeps you from, like, I sit at the table over here when I'm streaming, but like when I'm doing big builds like this, I like keeping it so where I'm mobile, I can get to the pieces I need to quickly. But also, it's a good indication for my ADD brain to be like, hey, you're tired. You should go do something else. Go watch a TV show. Go do some laundry. Go do a chore. Do something with the dogs. Go write. Go do something else. So standing here for 2 hours is going to be a pain. But that's all there is to it. Also, these pieces would be great internally here. Maybe I should do that. Yeah. That looks great. And technically, these are clip pieces too. You can put all kinds of stuff on those if you wanted to. Trying to think if I'd rather do that than... Let's see how that would look. Oh, this might be the winner. It's funny when you forget you've got certain pieces in your arsenal. Like, oh yeah. Oh, that looks great. That'd look great internal there. And then, yeah, stick a thing on it. Have a little gear or something sticking out of the side of it. I think that's what we're gonna do. I like that a lot. Sorry, other idea. We're gonna do this instead. Any chance to not use gray, I'm gonna take it. So Johnny's got his trade show, got the home and garden thing. Goldie's got projects for April. What's everybody else working on? What's the rest of your day look like? You got plans today? I think after this, I'm gonna do a load of laundry, and then I'm gonna play some Horizon Forbidden West, and then I may do some writing. Yeah, that's gonna look great. I like that a lot. All right, so I'll take this guy off. He works really well. Put him right there. We're gonna redo this guy. So I'm gonna keep. I don't think these come in anything but red. Let's see if they come in black. I think they come in black. They're just gonna be harder to find than red. Yep, they do come in black. They fly now? They fly now. And I need 8 of them. Sister and her kids are coming over, and I need to organize some Lego. Sounds like a day. So I took my old man cat to the vet, and turns out he has no problems. Like, we didn't take him to the vet because he had any symptoms of anything, but he did throw up on the way there. But I think he threw up because it was 8 o'clock in the morning. He'd only just eaten a couple hours ago, and he doesn't like going to the vet. Like, I put him in his crate, his little box travel thing, and he just suddenly becomes the most vocal animal on the planet. So like, I was like, all right, we're gonna go to the coffee shop on the way. I'm gonna get a coffee, and then we're gonna go to the vet. In line at the coffee shop, he barfs inside his carrier, and I'm like, well, what do I do? Like, I can't. There's cars behind me. I can't get out. I can't let him out. So I get my coffee, and I drive to a parking lot. And I basically take the carrier out and wipe out as much of the barf as I can. Empty my car of napkins, basically. And then we go to the vet, and they're like, how's he doing? I'm like, he barfed on the way here, but I think it's because of stress. So then they ran some blood work. Because that's what you do with cats. Because they don't tell you when they're sick. They don't even present any symptoms. They just suddenly have FIV or something. So a couple days later, I get a call that says, hey, your cat is doing pretty good. His blood work came back not too bad. Except he's got one of his liver levels is very high. Or not even very high, medium high. And I'm like, okay, well, what do we do? Like, well, and like one of the recommendations is like a $500 sonogram or something. I'm like, what else can we do? How about some $50 medicine for a month and see if that helps? And they're like, it could be elevated because he was, you know, stressed about being here. I'm like, he was 100% stressed about being there. Did you guys not see the cat? So, let's crank this down because we're working over here. So that's the next thing is to oh, this is probably not going to work for this. I had this all set up with a bunch of Technic pins in it. We're just gonna have to go without it and see if that works. Hopefully it holds up. So yeah, so that's fine. So now I have to give him medicine. And I say that somewhat disdainfully only because he's been such a hands-off cat up until now that it's kind of wild that he has anything wrong with him. It hasn't settled in yet. The only thing that he's had in his previous incarnations as our cat is one time we went out of town and we had Greg watch him while we were away. I think the dogs were at a kennel and he's just stayed home. And we're like, just go over once a day and feed him and hang out with him. And Greg texted us and was like, I can't find him. Like, what? And he's like, yeah, I can't find him anywhere. So we're like, did he get out? And he's like, no, I don't think so, but I just cannot find him. So after a little while, he finally found him. He was in the back of our closet, and he was, according to Greg, had really spacey eyes, right? Was just like kind of looking around funny. Trying to lick himself, was apparently stuck, like his leg was just kind of hanging out in the air. Smelled of pee, and there was blood everywhere. So of course we're in Kentucky and we're freaking out. Like, well, there's nothing really we can do from here. So we got home, took him to, like, we came home and I picked him up and like blood fell out of him. And we're just like, ah. So we took him to the emergency vet and he had like a urinary infection, which is pretty common among cats. Yeah, this may be a little more wobbly because I don't have the spines holding it together, or the Technic axles, so we'll have to see if this holds up. If not, I'll have to redo it. Anyway, predilection for urinary infections, so now he's on a special food that's really expensive. And we're always worried about some urinary thing with him. So when they're like, this might be a liver thing, we're like, well, is it or is it not? We kind of have to know what we're dealing with. Yeah, that looks great. I like that a lot. I mean, I don't like that the material is orange, but I think 4 of those going around would look really good. So, what time is it? 11:12. Okay, cool. So this weekend I got to figure out, I haven't started giving him the medicine yet. They're like, transition to wet food, give him this medicine. I'm like, we're shocking his system with all these changes. I also have to get a urine sample from him, which is super fun. They give you a pipette and a test and not a test tube, but I mean a test tube, and then a bag of like charcoal litter, like this much, and they're like, have fun. I'm like, and I know what I have to do, but it's almost like, what do you do with this? Well, you have to put it in their litter box, but you have to clean out all their litter first. I'm like, I'm just throwing litter away at this point. It's like, So I've got a temporary litter box. I'm hoping I can just kind of put that in there and have him go in that. But that's, again, like watching him to make sure he goes to the bathroom. I'm like, I don't know when he goes to the bathroom. The dogs, I know exactly when they go to the bathroom, when they go outside. All right, so I like where this is going. This needs a little something up here, something. I think this will hold up to whatever. I don't think there's enough tension or torque on that to really go anywhere. I'd like to then now fill out this area a little bit. And then this is going to be, I haven't decided if this is going to be angled up to here to make it look like a house. Because I have a ton of sand green that can be used for just such an occasion. But I also have black. I have sand green, so we can put sand green corners on like that. And they go all the way up. That'll fit. Yeah, like that, and then we'll figure out something to go around that. Can't really see that, but we also have black, and I think I have enough of the other roof tiles for black. Should be enough here. So I'm not sure which looks better. I think maybe black. Then I have some of these along the sides here. I just have to be careful because I'm not good at building angled roofs like that, because I don't remember to like support them from underneath until it's too late. This whole thing moves on its own, like this whole house will move on its own. So I can build it however I want to make it stable. But yeah, see, it's not attached. It's just on this plate, or these 4 plates. I'll probably end up taking this off to travel, and then the house by itself. So I don't know which one works better. feel like I have equal numbers of roof tiles here, so I don't know which one looks better. The dark green is giving me Capitol vibes, like remembering what it looked like to work on the Capitol. So yeah, I'm not really sure which I like better, the black or the green. Also, not 100% that I don't just build out flat. That may be more fun, actually. Building out flat. I don't think I have enough of anything to make like a, I was thinking of doing a shingling. Just get, long pieces and put them in between like that. And then shingle them. Then you'd have to make a corner piece right here. So you'd have to make I love digging through my wedge plates and finding like nothing but right-handed stuff. You're like, ugh. So, and this is another thing is I don't know the math to make angled plates that meet. So, like that's probably, if they were going to be right angles, that wouldn't be that terribly big of a slope. So, but it would be something. It wouldn't be too bad, actually. I like that idea. I like it better than these roof angled, because this just seems kind of not pedestrian, but seems very mid-late 80s. So let's plus it forces you into 3x4, 3x3, you know, it forces you into some things. At least this I can control the length a little bit. Going like that. Do the same thing over here. And if it goes high enough, it can almost go to the roof. So, next thing is to figure out how to attach that. New style Lego roof that I've seen does a lot of hanging, which is what I was trying to do with the tower at some point. These are individual leaves going all the way down. They're this size plate, and then it's a slightly smaller plate, and it's built back every other layer. So it's like a jumper plate here to make it like 5, and then I think that's it. So it's like 6, and then 6 behind it, and then 5 behind that, and then another 5 behind that. So it looks like it's tapering in a little bit, but each of these is like an individual piece. And then they're held together with hinges. So you can see where the hinges are here, right? And then there's some at the top, and then on the inside there's more hinges holding them in on the inside. So I couldn't figure out, the problem I ran into was that once you got 7 of those built and you're like reaching in to like press all the hinges together on the inside, once you get that 8th piece in, that 8th slot, there's no way to reach inside to press all those hinges together. So I was trying to figure out ways where I could easily like put them on. So I thought at one point of like those 2x3 pieces with the holes in the end of it, the little curved piece with the hole in the end of it, and then having some bars attached so I could just kind of lay them and hang them. So I could do all of them like that, and then they would just hang. But I couldn't get the angles right, and the bottoms were all like flopping around everywhere, and I would have to build something on the bottom to keep them in place. And at that point, I was just rebuilding what I had already. So I kept everything the same, only this time, instead of attaching it at the bottom and building up, I just made the tube by itself. So I could reach inside it and like, you know, kind of reach inside the tube and press hinges and tiles and whatever. And the whole tube just kind of works like that. And then it just slides up and down. But then again, now I have to figure out how to cover it and have this be able to be taken on and off. So, but what was I saying that for? Oh yeah, the new way of doing roofs. There's been a couple Christmas sets like this. The medieval blacksmith set is like this, where they kind of hang in a slot and then they don't really attach anywhere. It's not put on a hinge. It's not, you know, it's got like panels at the bottom that it kind of rests against, but it's just the weight of itself keeps it there. In most sets, if you turn them upside down, not only are you going to lose all the minifigure accessories in the boxes and containers and stuff, a lot of the roofs are going to fall off because that's how they're built nowadays. Shingle idea sounds good also. Black looks better. So the shingle idea I like. I just have to come up with something that's shingle-like. And I've kind of used all of my dark gray ingots. So I might have to do, if I have enough of these ingots, I don't even know, because I've got a lot of ingots, but I don't know that I have enough to cover. What is this going to be? 6 by 14. That's an odd number. 6 by 14 times 6. 6 by 72. Good morning, Mayo. I don't know why you're awake either. Although, what is it, like 11 o'clock there at night? So that's divided by 2, 72 square studs. That's not right. No, 6 by 14. So 6 times 14 is 84 times 6 is 288. So that's 288 square studs divided by 2. So I'd need 144 gold ingots, and I don't think I have that. So maybe a mix of like real gold and pearl gold, or real gold and tan. Throw some tan in there. Got a lot of tan. You have to alternate because. $2:55 a.m. Yeah, may run out of these ingots really fast. So this either becomes another order for just pearl gold ingots, or I just do my best and try to stretch this as far as I can. I don't even think I have enough like tiles. I must have like a good number of like 1x2 tiles. I also have a lot of these guys that I can use. Oh, I just spilled half of them. So I can use these at some point for like the eaves or something, the corners maybe, to fill in some areas. But like that. Something like that. I think that would work. I wonder how long until they make a single 1x1 ingot. Luffy, how are you? Thank you for being here. Huh. Mayo is really into Missy's city stuff. Thanks for being here, Lucky. Luffy. So now the idea is we've got to fill in the other spots. You know, I want to make it like overhang a little bit. So may have to put another line of plate up here somewhere. But also, how do you finish out the bottom here? Do you just put in tiles, I guess? I have dark orange too. I wonder if I could throw in dark orange. And nougat. I have nougat. There's gold. I do seem to have a lot of gold 1x1 tiles, so that's good. Do not seem to have pearl gold. I have tan. So maybe tan is where it's at. So like that. I think that would work. And again, I'd like to have it a little bit over like that. So this could be like that. That looks really nice. I'll have to figure out how to do angled stuff on the edges here. Have some of these that might be helpful. Oops. We'll have to see how that overlaps. This maybe won't bump into the other side too much. Reinforce that a little better. Okay, well, let's make this the plan, and we'll just have to see if I run into problems. I mean, I could actually do a roof with nothing but all of this color. And that includes the greens and the grays. There's some dark greens in here, some blacks. I think maybe that looks steampunk, right? That's a color scheme of steampunk. So if I just did the whole roof like that, honestly, that would be pretty rad. Now that I think about it. I'm gonna play with that real quick. I'm gonna take out a handful and start over. You still gaming, Mayo? What are you playing right now? Forge of Empires. Is that a like a Microsoft like Age of Empires type of game? An RTS strategy builder game? Just a successor in a long line of things of empires, kind of, games. Okay. I always like the initial real-time strategy, tech tree, Civ type games where you have to build up from like 3 guys chopping wood to an empire, right? And there's like a midpoint where it's fun, but it's not overly complicated. And then there's a tipping point where it becomes unmanageable and not fun anymore. Now it becomes work. So I feel like a lot of those games are like that for me. One of my favorites was this one. It was just called Pharaoh, and it was an Egyptian version of that where you start off as just people on the Nile building huts with reeds, and then you age up into, they build shrines, and the goal is to become pharaoh and have your people build you a pyramid, right? And after a while, it's fine, but then you get to a point where it's so unmanageable, and you are also suddenly attacked by somebody to like the north of you, like another village. And when I was playing the game, I was like, I knew that I could build like barracks, and I could build like an archery area, but I was like, I had no idea that was to defend myself. Like, nobody ever made it clear in the game. You have 12 hours of game time, or 2 months or 2 years of build of in-universe game time before you're attacked by a neighboring village. It was really kind of like out of nowhere. They're like, yep, you're under attack. I'm like, what? C'est no fair. Oh yeah, I really like this look. This is going to be fun. Also because I don't have to really think about it too much. I can just kind of go with whatever is available. I will not do dark blue. And I don't think I'll do dark green. But I think the rest is fair game. I don't think I'll do black either. Time we got 36. Which sucks because I don't have any tan green or sand green 1x1 tiles. That would make this. Oh yeah, I do. There's one right there. Perfect. There's a lot of 10-year veterans that have retired from the game recently. That is intense. Like gaming in general, or the game that you're playing specifically? Excuse me. Oh, that looks great. That looks great. That's exactly the look I was going for. Perfect. And I got plenty of pieces to fill that all out. And the noisiness kind of fits in with the noisiness of the stonework over there. Oh, I like that a lot. As long as I stick with those colors, it should be all right. I'll figure out the edging over here. This will have to be kind of the same height. I may have to go up one level because there's lights over here that I don't want to get in the way of with the eave. So I may go up one. Let's do. Actually, if I go up one more, what does that look like? It looks like fall. It looks like Thanksgiving. Let's see. Go there. Get it right on that angle. Oh, that's going to be... Well, I can... Over one. That over one. I want it to be able to cover the seam. Yeah, and then I can kind of fill in this area with stuff. I don't want to get it too high because I don't want to interfere with that. As I work over here. It's almost too high. Like I don't like that much. Maybe just one plate height. Oh, that's actually not too bad. I won't interfere with the lights too much. I'm so happy with that, like you have no idea. That's good, and it's gonna be fun to build, to lay all that out. All right, so then to connect this, I can either put one more level of plate underneath there. Which means I gotta go back and redo some of this. Some of these ones I'll have to take off. Let's see what that looks like. I'm like, I'll do that later. I'm like, why don't I do it now? That's the whole reason I'm building this, is to do it now. So we went to a new place here in Pflugerville called Old Greg. Yes, it's named after the skit in The Mighty Boosh. With Noel Fielding as the creepy guy in the swamp, Old Greg. And It's a pretty groovy place. It's definitely like, it has the feel of, we definitely know that our clientele is suburban white people. But we went and had a good time. I did say I was going to use dark gray, right? And the reason I bring it up because I'm excited because I have leftover pizza from there last night, and it was very yummy. All right, let's see. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I like that. Okay. Oh, that's gonna be great. All right, so let's attach this other side. So it's gonna be like that high. I'm actually gonna line the whole top with one more plate high of something. The reason I'm doing that is because I have some really nice porch lights over here that I don't want to get rid of. Those look really nice and I want to keep them, and they're at a good level. So I'm going to line the whole thing with one type of plate. I don't have that color, but it's going to be kind of hidden, so we're going to do in tan. I would rather do it in brown, but I don't trust brown anymore, and I don't have enough dark tan to go all the way around, so we're going to do just in tan, just to give it a little more height. This is why it'll also help settle a lot of these profile bricks. Something I learned doing the Capitol is that tan is easily the most ubiquitous of building colors, it feels like. Which is why the building is not sunset pink granite, but is in fact tan. Because it was the easiest to get all those colors, or all those different pieces that I needed in those colors. Okay, that was easy enough. Yeah, I don't trust brown. I barely trust dark red. I don't trust brown at all. Dark red, dark green, I don't trust much. I've run into dark blue that has a problem. There was something about all the like the dark colors that they ran into. One dark blue piece, multiple dark red pieces, multiple dark brown, some dark red. So let's get some. And now I don't have to worry about putting these in the seams of the bricks because I've got plates on top there. Did I put those all the way at the bottom? No. Oh, that sucks. I was redoing back when I got all those architecture sets from that dude. Well, that's about as angled as it can get. That's still not high enough. Maybe I need to do 2 levels. When I was doing the architecture sets, I was going through each of them, and he had them disassembled and in chunks and put into the boxes if they needed to be disassembled at all. Some of them that were like in those boxes that were like that big, you'd basically like take the building off the landscape plate and kind of turn it on its side and put it in the box. So I wanted to sell all of them. So I went through each one and made sure and took them all apart and made sure each one of them was properly in place. And one was the Frank Lloyd Wright house. It wasn't Falling Water, but it was like his house, I think. And it was like all dark red, and it was all 1x2 dark red pieces. And I must have shattered about 40% of those pieces. And there were 800 of these pieces. So I, like most of the time, I'll just like when I'm doing something like that where I'm reassembling a set somebody gave me and I'm missing a piece, or I'm reassembling an old set of mine and I'm missing a piece, I'll just dig the piece out from my stocks because, like, you know, it's likely that there was a piece that got put in my sort anyway. But this was like, it wasn't mine. I don't have enough. I maybe had 10 of these pieces at the time. So I went through bricks and pieces and I was like, I'm rebuilding a set and it's this set. And, you know, when you order pieces from Pick a Brick, it doesn't matter. But when you contact customer service, you're like, here's my set number. I was trying to rebuild the set and like 40 of these pieces broke. 1x2 pieces. So they sent me everything. And it was like 1x4 tiles, 1x2 plates. It was a mess. What plates do I have there? Yeah, that should be okay. All right. Well, time to start building it all out. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need a 6x10. I hate this song. So this is the conundrum, is being able to find a piece that is a decent color. It doesn't have to be, because it's all going to be covered up. But I don't know that I necessarily want a hot orange piece in there. That's going to be too far over. Why is that one? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, well, I'll have to figure out. That's gonna be too short, so we'll do it on the other side first. Oh, can I skip this song? This whiny. None of that song makes sense. It's just so incoherently bad. I hate to rag on musicians like that, but I'm like, did you guys not listen to this before you put it out? Okay, fun part. So, I have to figure out the top of this. I don't have. I hate using these pieces for anything other than microfibers because they're perfect for microfibers. But I might be able to sneak those in the back. Where'd my phone go? Who is that? Wow. Beth works at, on the weekends, she works at a mental health hospital. And they're screening for measles. Because it's 2025 and we haven't learned what immunology is yet. All right, so we have about 4 or 5 minutes left. The plan for the rest of the week is do this roof, finish this off, order 3 more of those tubes. I'm sure they're not cheap, so I'm not looking forward to that. But I'll probably stick in an order of a couple other types of parts. I've noticed that I'm running low on these dark tan 1x1s, so that may be something to add to it. See if I have enough of these ingots and 1x1 tiles to get all the way around. The next step will be this guy and a railing around the top, a safety railing. And I'm trying to figure out how to attach. I'm rebuilding the top. Try to figure out how to maybe attach something that can kind of slide over the top, so that I don't have to pull it completely apart while I take the tower apart. Again, then some gardening around the landscaping here, throwing some grass, maybe a little side garden here with something in it. Figure out this panel to hold the phone and the battery pack. And I need to talk to a friend of mine in the lug who is pretty good with the USB attachment for turning the battery box into a USB powered box. That way you don't have to keep replacing batteries. You can use a battery pack charger, or have it into a brick somewhere. So if we've got enough extension power to the location where this is all going to be displayed, we can get everybody powered up. And I don't think everybody's got power, but I think like 6 or 7 people minimum have power to theirs. So it'll be interesting to see if we all need it and how much is needed. So that'll be fun. But then Thursday, I've got several sets I can build. If you guys want to, I'll put another post out today or tomorrow, and ask people what they'd like to see on Sunday or on Thursday. I don't think I have anything planned. Make sure before I schedule anything. Nope. So nothing going on Thursday, so I'll be able to do a stream. And we'll do, we can either do the brick heads. I've got the Transformers brick heads. I've got a new flower, one of the new flower botanical sets. And I've got Da Vinci's flyer, which I think might be fun for this. Like I can see that being put up around here. Kind of not unironically, but like, oh, that's part of that. Sure. You know, it makes sense. So keep that all in mind. I'll post something soon. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day and your weekend. Hope you get to do some fun Lego things. And if I don't see you before Thursday, come find me on Blue Sky, or that's basically it, Blue Sky. I'm around on YouTube looking at other people's videos. Check out Johnny's channel. He's got a lot of stuff going on for their home and garden thing. Mayo's always got some stuff going on. So you guys take care. Have a good rest of your Sunday, and I'll talk to you later.